Yay! Can you hear me? It's been a while since I've... Oh, there's this one watching. It's been a while since I put on this headset. I've been putting on my other headset for the computer. Little mamas. Hey, little mamas. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm about to take my first drink in 40 days. It's been quite a roller coaster. Yeah. Some good stuff, some not great stuff. But I'll have to get that little book that I was writing in. And I started writing stuff down because I didn't want to forget what had happened, but I think I stopped like halfway through. Cheers. I just took a drink of that Angel's Envy. Miss that. Ooh. This is a good bottle. Sometimes I get the Angel's Envy and it there's like a harshness to it. Anyways. Oh yeah, let me get that. Oh shit. And that book. Wash this tomorrow. I have to start strengthening my knees tonight. I'm not gonna do anything, but the next couple of days I need to start doing that because all my muscles atrophied. One, not working out, and two, just not eating. So my left knee has started to get bad again and on the verge of kind of giving out. So I really gotta take some time and strengthen that, and then work on biceps and shoulders, and then build myself from the ground up again. It's like 3 10-pound bowling balls have been lifted off me. I do feel a little lighter, but just kind of been nice. Where'd it go? I think this is it. Isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I started it 10 days in as well. Okay, so I think I told you about that one. The first 2.5 days without eating really sucked. I get really lightheaded and everything becomes fuzzy, and then I had to work at El Chico's and became angry at food, angry because I couldn't have it, angry because everyone else could. I think I told you about the talk I had with Russ. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, well I didn't write much after that, but... So I don't want you to feel bad about this, but, we stopped talking on 1/9. I wrote that down. And... right after that, the big freeze happened here. Oh dang, I have a long way to go. I forget what I was doing. Meet Sebastian in Feldcroft. Okay. So the big freeze happened here, and I lost power for 2 days. Like 2.5, almost 3 days. It didn't come back on till 10 p.m. ish on the third day. It was really difficult because not only did I not have electricity, I didn't have heat. So it became very cold. So when we stopped talking, I had lost my best friend, and I was cold, alone, and in the dark for a couple of days. And that was very rough. I had the fireplace going as much as I could. I ran out of wood quickly. I had to go out and buy more and more. I slept out here with the cat on the couch because there was no heat in the room. So I had to sleep near the fireplace, and then I woke up one morning around 4 or 5 in the morning.
These rocks have seen better days.
The fire had gone out, and it was very cold.
Revelio.
Very cold, like hurt to breathe cold. I forgot what I'm supposed to do here.
Accio. Levioso.
Huh.
Revelio.
These rocks seem to be immune to what I'm trying to do here. No. Luminous. Come screw with that later. Yeah, the fire had gone out, and so I was mostly worried about her because she was using me as heat, and I was cold, so I tried to keep her underneath the blankets, but she's a kitten, so she gets restless and kept trying to pop out, but as soon as she'd pop out for like a minute, she would just jump back in, and I took her to the bed, and I just put the blankets with the down comforter over both of us, and like, you know how hot I get. This is the first time I ever slept with fuzzy socks on, sweats, long sleeve shirt, sweater, and a beanie under all the blankets. and still was not great. But so that happened for a couple days. Couldn't charge my phone, so I had to go to work, drive to work, charge up my phone for a little while, eat, because I was also doing my meal prep, so I had to take everything that was in my freezer and take it to work. And eat at work while my phones and stuff charged. I had to buy an external battery pack because I was just sitting watching TV on my phone using the cellular data, which was nice, and that's why I was watching a lot of Peaky Blinders, because I literally had nothing to do. I couldn't play video games because I had no internet, couldn't, even turn on my laptop or PlayStation. So it was a rough couple of days. And it was not great, and I couldn't even talk to you about it or have you there and watch stuff with you. Another thing that I'd kind of wanted to stress to you, but again, I don't want you to feel bad, because everything happens for a reason. I was pretty upset at what you told me when you told me. I mean, I knew at some point I was gonna lose you as a support system, but I was pretty upset because we'd had conversations before about why I was gonna do this and what questions I was gonna ask God if and when I saw him. Didn't see him, by the way. I'll tell you about that. But I was going to ask him about us, and if that was the path I was supposed to go down, and to get clarity on that. And before that happened, in fact 8 days in, you kind of took that away from me. I know it wasn't on purpose, but you kind of made that decision for me and for us. And I remember having many conversations about you not liking me doing that when we first got together. So I was pretty upset that one of the main things and one of the big things I wanted to ask him, you kind of took away, and that ability to do that. So that's what really upset me about that. Maybe I don't know if I can get up there. I think I lack the thing. And then a couple days ago, I had a dream that you said you were. It was kind of almost through text message. It was like everything was dark and black. It wasn't like I was face to face with you, but
Aloha Mora.
We had talked, and you said you were dating somebody, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then you mentioned he was in the military. I thought that was odd, but it's just a dream, so. Seemed to have broken into someone's house. Merlin, maybe? I don't know who that guy is. Damn, I just drank his shit too. Saber Gray. Anyways, after the big freeze, things kind of got back to normal relatively. I had a deeper appreciation for the electricity and the normalization of being able to like turn the lights on whenever I wanted to and have heat and stuff. So it did give me a deeper appreciation for that, which is good.
Let's see what's up your sleeve this time, Merlin.
That's not. Kind of at a loss for some things to say. I know I'll skip over certain things, but you know, kept working. Work got hard sometimes. I had a really, really bad day at work. We're to the point where I almost quit. I almost walked out, and the only thing that kept me from doing so was the fact that I knew other people were going to have to do my side work, and that and that I still had to square my cash register with Brian. I'm the newest person there, and they put me on to-goes and have a section, and it was on a Saturday when we had our busiest night, and we had like 6 or 7 parties coming in, large parties, so we were going to have to take all the overflow. So not only was my section full, but I also had to-goes, which I'm not used to doing, and I'm very slow at putting in orders because there's lots of rules and exceptions. Like the mama enchilada isn't called mama enchilada in the menus. It's either 2 or 3 enchilada dinner. So looking for things that don't exist in the POS really, really, really slowed me down. And there's these things called Casabel tacos, which they don't really offer so much anymore. It's like a thing that they used to do, but it's discontinued. But it's still, part of it's on the menu, and there is no Casabel tacos. It's in a sub-menu called Taqueria, and you wouldn't know that unless you've ever put them in, and I didn't, so I spent a long time looking for that one as well, and the phone ringing and trying to take orders over the phone, and then my own customers coming in. It was just terrible, and I told my manager at the beginning, I was like, hey man, like, I'm the slowest person here. And this is one of the busiest nights. I'm like, I'm slow and dumb. Like, this isn't a good idea. And he's like, oh, it's a good time to learn. So, and he just watched me drown all night. And I had to have 2 other servers come and help me and pretty much take over to-goes just so I could make my customers happy, because everything else was taking up way too much time, and he just kept watching me drown and didn't say anything. And even the servers who were helping me were like, dude, this isn't right. Like, there's no reason to have the newest server do this on the busiest night that we've had in a long time. Like, it's shitty what he's doing to you. And he didn't say a word to me all night. And even when I left the building, he was standing on the railing on the balcony just looking out, having a cigarette, and I just walked to my car and he didn't say anything. Not like, hey man, like, it sucks, but you know, we go on rotation and it was just your turn, like, sorry, like, nothing, just not a word. And so, you know, I was gonna walk out, but again, I didn't want other people doing my side work, and it was already over, so I didn't really see any reason to walk out after that. But they tried screwing with my schedule again, and so I did just let them go not too long ago. In fact, yesterday.
Goblins will finally rule
So
wizards.
That was a test of not breaking. I had it out with Blake hardcore.
Leviosa. Expelliarmus.
When are you going to give up?
Incendio.
You don't believe you can defeat it, do you? Magistrate, what distract me? An utterly pitiful man.
Expelliarmus. Incendio. Protego.
Up there. Surely you can see that.
Levioso. Expelliarmus. Incendio.
I will make his pay.
Ah, shit. Oh, it's down the hill, my bad.
Levioso. Expelliarmus. Incendio.
You are postponing
Incendio.
I will have.
Expelliarmus. Levioso.
I always forget that I can do that.
Levioso. Expelliarmus. Accio. Incendio.
We had this big, long talk about my future at the company, and he's like, I mean, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm like, honestly, I don't know, because I haven't really thought 5 years ahead, but I know I'm not advancing here, and I had this big, long talk about, like, you know, I gave up a lot of profit sharing, and I kind of came there under false pretenses, and I thought I was going to be a salesperson and be trained to be a salesperson, and when I got here, like, you told me you got an inside guy and an outside guy, and what you need is a driver, so, and there's really nowhere for me to go, and so, you know, I was talking about, you know, I haven't asked for a pay raise, or, you know, this, that, and the other, and he's just like, well, you know, pay raises only come, like, if I see you doing more, and this and that, and then I explained to him, like, every time you say that, it's like this vague, nebulous term of, like, at what point do you think you would have seen enough from me? Like, how long do I have to not mess up, or have a, you know, whatever, for you to say, oh, he's doing better? So he had this idea where he would have me make a list of 10 things we could do to improve the warehouse. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. This is just to pacify me. Like, this isn't going anywhere. He's just gonna make me create my own honey-do list. And so I went out there, found a couple things, did a couple things, and you know, I was like, well, I have 8 things, but they're all good things. They're good, solid things. It's not fluff, and that's what I didn't want to do. It's like, I don't want to just fill the list with fluff just to get to 10 things. And so he said, put it on my desk on Friday, and you know, I won't be here Friday, but this, that, and the other. I said, okay. So, you know, I forgot to put it on his desk on Friday, but I always get in early anyways, so wasn't a big deal. So Monday morning comes, and he shows up, and he's like, hey man, you got that list? I was like, yeah, I had it right. I had it in my pocket, like, because I knew I was going to give it to him, and it had 8 things. He's like, well, there's not 10 things on here. I said, I completely understand that, but, you know, the reason I did that was because I didn't want to fill it with fluff. These are 8 really good things that we could definitely do. And he's like, well, that wasn't the point. You needed to get to 10. I'm like, okay, I explained to you why I didn't do that, because I didn't want to fill it with bullshit. Because I could put 10 things on there, but it wouldn't be, they wouldn't have as much substance. And so he started throwing, he's like, well, that's bullshit. That's not what I asked you to do. And I'm like, alright, I can see where this is going to go. You just want 10 things. So he's like, you know, you need to get out there in the warehouse, you know, get to 10 things. And I'm like, this, I feel like a fucking child right now. Like, I explained to you why. You couldn't have just said, like, oh, like, it's not exactly what I asked you to do, but I appreciate you for having some fucking, you know,
Levioso.
some backbone and being like, no, I want them to be good things. I want them to be things that we can do, real things. Not exactly what I asked for, but, you know, you're thinking and using your head. And so I walked away like pissed off, like, oh my gosh. And he tried to call me back, and then we were in the warehouse and we just had it out. Told him about the false pretenses, told him about how I thought it was kind of BS that what he was having me do. And I'm like, dude, I guarantee you never had Russ or Cody do any of these, you know, this 10 list bullshit. And he's like, Cody and Russ do exactly what I need them to do, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I'm never gonna grow here. Like, I'm never gonna, you know, I was pissed off about the pay, and I'm not getting a pay increase. And, oh, no, how did that go? So, we're having it out about, like, he's like, I need to see more from you. And I said, like, well, how much more do you see before I get, like, a pay raise? And he said, well, Cody and Russ do, like, this, that, and the other. And, I said, like, I guarantee you've never had, made Russ do this 10 list thing. And he says, Russ does way more than I could have ever asked him for. And then I kind of lost it, and I said something I shouldn't have. And I said, well, why doesn't his profit sharing reflect that then? Because me and Russ got the same amount of profit sharing last year, and I thought it was bullshit because he does so much, and he's kind of like conned Russ into thinking that inside sales isn't supposed to get anything when I've worked at 2 different PCs, and that's complete bullshit. So he's kind of like conned Russ into telling him that's just how things are, because it doesn't get, they don't let the inside and outside guys know. It's just managers who like divvy it up. And I think he's kind of lied to him. I don't want to say lied, but about how much he's supposed to get. And it's not like, from my understanding, it's not how, like, the position that you're in dictates how much you get. It's like how many years you've been with the company and your value to the company. So he should get, it really should be 30-30-10. Like 30 Blake, 30 Russ, 30 Cody, and 10 for me. And that's fine, because I do a lot of grunt work. Like, you could get some some young high school kid to do what I do for the most part. Except all the experience and stuff that I have knowing a little bit of everything. So that's how I think it should be. But, you know, we got the same amount, and then him and Cody just split the rest of it. And I think that's like shit and a half. So, and me, Cody, and Russ talked about it, and Cody was going to say anything, but Cody, he's a lot of talk and not a lot of action. He says a lot of bullshit. Oh, I'm going to say something to him. That's bullshit. I'm going to say something to him. But he never does. And I get it. He's protecting himself. He's got kids. And he can't really stick his neck out too far. So I get that. But, you know, we're talking about your worth and value and how much you get paid being determined by how much you contribute to the company, especially when it came to me. And I brought it up as like, if that's the case, then why doesn't that apply to Russ? And then he just gave me like, are you serious right now? Are you seriously talking to me about somebody else's profit sharing? Because he knew he got caught. He knew what the fuck, how he screwed Russ over. He knows what he's doing. So he started flipping out and started taking it in the direction of like, that's bullshit that you're bringing his profit sharing up. Why are we even talking about his profit sharing? Blah, blah, blah. And like, he didn't know that we had all talked about it, but he didn't expect that to be used against him.
Levioso, Accio.
Oh, you think you're so clever.
Expelliarmus. Levioso.
Stop avoiding me.
So he flipped the fuck out about that, and for the rest of the day, we just kind of avoided each other. I gave him back the list with 12 things on it just to prove a point, and like a couple days later, or like a day or two later, we talked about the list, and I actually asked Cody for Dallas, David's number, because he was the manager of Dallas at the time. No, and I emailed him, but he didn't respond because he just got promoted to like regional manager or something, so he was not even the guy to talk to about that anymore. And then I let Blake know. I was like, hey, just so you know, like, I think, I've been doing some thinking, and I think I'd like to transfer to Dallas. And he said, well, David forwarded that email and blah, blah. And it's like, it's kind of suspicious that, a couple days after, we have this big old talk that, you want to transfer. And I'm like, honestly, I've been thinking about it for a while, and my family's coming out. They're going to be out here. My sister lives in Austin. If I was in Dallas, they'd only have to move in between both of us. So it just kind of makes sense. I've been thinking about it for a while. And he's like, well, you kind of stepped in it with the whole, emailing David and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, that's how they did it in California. They gave me the emails of a bunch of managers, and I emailed them, and some responded, some didn't. So I'm just going by that. And he's like, well, you probably talked to a manager first. I'm like, yeah, I mean, does it matter how I got the email? So everything was kind of okay after that, and he went over the list with me, and I'm like, and some of the things he thought were really good ideas, some, not really doable. And so everything's been okay after that. I'm not sure if he respects me more because he knows I'm actually going to say something, but, it is what it is. So I had it out with him, and then, so I'll just tell you real quick. So, what happened after that? I think it was kind of okay for a while. It had its ups and downs. But then I'll just tell you about, I haven't even checked my phone, sorry. Yeah, cheers. She's playing with her little toy. Cheers. Oh. Little dab will do me now. Shoot, I'm a lightweight. So the last 2 days I spent not eating anything, and I thought something big was gonna happen, like, but I talked to Mom, and she said, like, she's like, so what if nothing happens? Like, would you be disappointed? And I'm like, shit, I didn't even think about that. Like, the possibility of nothing happening wasn't even, a thing in my mind. And about halfway through, I told Russ about what was going on, and I told him about Will Green's experience, and I was like, I want that. I want a face-to-face. And he's like, well, trying to recreate somebody else's experience is probably not the way to go about it. And that kind of made me second guess myself too. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, you're right. So, last 2 days, nothing happened. I did meet up with my buddy Danny from church. We had a big talk. He actually died. I think I told you about him. He died, and his wife resuscitated him, so he's actually seen the other side. And I had a really interesting conversation with him. And when he died, he said it was like a white sandy beach. He was on a white sandy beach, and he couldn't look behind him. He could only look in front of him. So it was kind of like a purgatory where he was at. After I kind of understood it all afterwards, after he was done. Um, and he heard a voice. He thinks it was God telling him, like, you brought no souls with you, so you have no crew. Something to that effect. Something similar to Jack Sparrow being stuck in that purgatory-ish area. Meaning, like you didn't serve people and bring people to God, therefore you have no crew with you to like man a ship. There was no boat coming for you, and so that's why he tries to help out everybody he can. He's a little weird. He's like a little off kilter, but you know he sees things now and things that aren't there and stuff like that. So he's seen the other side and touched it. So he's like had this huge churn of events and revelations and stuff, and he still deals with his own thing, being a man. Anyways, after I left his house, I got some gummies. They're like stupid strong gummies. I haven't even tried one yet. They're like 150 milligrams each, and the gummies that I used to get from Cali were like 10 milligrams each. So even if you quarter them, they're like 37.5 milligrams each, which is ridiculous. So I'm gonna have to like quarter it and then cut the quarter in half. I haven't tried those yet, but the second day I couldn't eat. I went grocery shopping and I got a bunch of stuff, and I'd seen I got Instagram, by the way, and I use it for godly stuff, some workout stuff, some funny things, and recipes for like protein stuff that I wanted to get. It's really cool recipes. Just like you take your favorite cereal and you throw some Greek yogurt on it, and then you like mix it all up with some little bit of maple syrup and some protein powder, and then you put it in the freezer. So it like freezes kind of like a pancake made of your favorite cereal, and it's got, I mean, my protein's usually like 25 grams, and depending on the yogurt you get, it's 17 to 23 grams, so at least 40 grams of protein, and it's like your favorite cereal. It's like a Crunch Bar type deal. So I mean that's awesome. So I've been getting little ideas like that. I'm going to make these peanut butter chocolate covered balls with that cocoa powder that I got from the pudding stuff that you tried to make. Where was I going with that? I went over to Danny's and got the gummies, and oh yeah, I went shopping for all that stuff. So I got a bunch of weird stuff and bananas and chocolate and peanut butter. Good job, Dingus. Then after I left Danny's house, I saw this truck that was broken down in the middle of the lane. Like it was coming up from like around Mike's house, and there was 2 lanes going that direction, and there was this white truck just stalled out in the middle of the road. Didn't have its hazards on, nothing. But when I passed by, I saw like an old black man in the truck. And I'm like, what's going on here? What's his deal? And I saw everybody going around him. And for some reason I thought, like, man, I hope somebody helps him. Like, I don't really know a dick about cars, like at least how to fix them, but hopefully somebody helps him. And then I got stopped at a red light, and I kept looking in the rearview mirror, and I thought his truck was like moving towards me, but it turns out it wasn't like moving at all. I'm gonna Joey Diaz it nice. Yeah, I'm gonna see the devil. So I had this conviction, and he had just said, like, sometimes, honestly, like, the Holy Spirit is a pest, or, I don't know if pest was the right word that he used, but or a nuisance, because our flesh tells us that we want to just go home and relax and put away our groceries and make things, but the Holy Spirit was like, check on him, man, make sure he's okay, because nobody else is doing anything. And I was like, fuck! I have all these groceries in my house, and I stayed a little too long at Danny's, and his wife was talking to me, and we were talking about the serving position, because I applied at Longhorns, and she's the one who told me to do it. So I was like, I got yogurt and eggs and orange juice and all kinds of things in the car, and Like, I don't have time for this. And I was kind of pissed off. I kept saying fuck. I was like, fuck. Like, I was on my way home. And then I stopped in the parking lot and I ran over, and it was cold outside. It was like misty, kind of not really raining, but you know, misty. And there's this old black guy just sitting in the truck, and I was like, "Hey man, you okay?" And he starts mumbling like he wasn't. I couldn't understand him very well, like at all. Kind of reminded me of my great grandpa, but my great grandpa has a thick, you know, Mexican Spanish accent, so kind of treated it like that. But basically he kept trying to start it, and it was like it was turning over kind of, and it was like sputtering, but it wasn't really. And I was like, I don't really know much about cars. And he's like, I think the gas gauge is broken or something. Like, I don't think I have enough gas in it. And I'm like, I mean, did it go empty? And he's like, I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to put some gas in it. And he's like, can you take me to the gas station? And I'm like, yeah, I can take you to the gas station. So, but he didn't really understand the concept of turning on the hazard lights so people can go around you. And so I said, turn on the hazard lights. He's like, oh, that isn't going to like kill the battery, is it? And I was like, no, we're not going to be gone for long enough. So I was trying to explain to him that. It took a couple times. Ran over to the gas station. I took him in my car. It wasn't too far. It was just up the street. And so found one of those little gas cans, bought it, and it was like $23. And I was like, hey man, it's $23. Kind of looking at him like, I ain't paying for this shit. Luckily this fool just pulled out a crisp $100 bill, and I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, you know, he's not like poor. He's just, you know, in a bad situation. So he bought it and then bought 2 gallons of gas. And so he took it over to the thing. I filled it up, took him back to his truck, put the gas in his truck, and it started right up. And I was like, oh, and his name was Cleo. Yeah, and I was like, hey Cleo, like, take care of yourself, make sure and fill up that gas. And he was like, thank you. And I was like, God bless you, Cleo. And he's like, God bless you too. And he's like really appreciative. And then he zoomed off. I was gonna tell him to turn his hazards off because they were still on, but he like zoomed off before I could say anything. And then I did see him stop at the gas station and fill up his truck, I assume, because he went to the actual gas station and his hazards were still on. But I was like, somebody'll tell him, or he'll notice. Like, somebody'll tell him to turn off his hazards. So I felt like the Holy Spirit like told me to do that, and then I came home and I put away my stuff, and it was, you know, I was hurting, my stomach hurt, and I was making food, and then I watched Passion of the Christ again, just as like a reminder of why I'm doing this, and you know, obviously crying, and at the very end, you know, after it had actually happened and the resurrection and stuff, you know, I was in really deep prayer, and I turned the TV low so there wasn't any sound, and it was dark, and I had lit some candles, and I was just looking up at the ceiling after having cried so much, and I just had a one-on-one with God, telling him like, I just want to see you or hear you. Like, is that so wrong for your son to want to be heard? Like, to hear you, listen to your voice, or see you? Like, I've never had a father. Like, so I don't know my father. I want to know you. And so I was crying and just really like this. It wasn't a loud cry. It was like one of those silent, like, feel it in your body scream type cries. It was silent too, for the most part. And then I felt almost as if someone touched me. I didn't feel the physical touch like a hand or anything, but it felt like as if somebody touched me spiritually. And then my whole body just went like limp. I went from screaming silently and crying and in pain to, honestly, dude, it almost reminded me of heroin. Like the way you can still kind of feel your body, but it's not numb, isn't like the word. It's just nothing hurts. It's almost like a warm blanket just wrapping around you, and you're just like, ah. And my whole body just went like limp, and like my head like leaned back, and I didn't know what had happened, you know. It wasn't a conscious thing, and then I just sat there with my eyes closed, and I didn't understand what was happening. So I said out loud, like, "What is this? Did you do that?" And my voice and everything was so relaxed that it came out as like mumbles and gurgles, like as if I was whispering, but the back of my throat was catching a little bit of sound. It was so weak and light. I was just like, "Is that you? Like, are you doing this?" And I didn't get an answer or response back. And then I felt like the only thought that came up into my head, which I think was from something else, was I mean, I was sitting there for a while, just kind of enjoying the feeling, and I could have swore I heard something in my head go like, "You should go lay down now." And I was like, "Okay." Like I responded to it, but then I couldn't move. I just couldn't move. I don't know how long I sat there, and I wanted to get up, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. I should go lay in bed." I wanted to get up, but I couldn't. Like, it's like I knew what I had to do, but my body wasn't sending the signal to like get up. And then by the time I actually like kind of shook myself out of it, like I put the chicken away, the food, and then I went and laid in bed, and then kind of just sat there and thanked him for a little bit longer. And I was like, "God, if you have anything to say, like, please say it now." And it was raining, and I wanted it to be silent so that way I could hear him. But then the cat started making noise, and I'm like, "Damn it." Um, and then I just drifted off. And then I woke up at like 3:30 in the morning, just hungry as shit. And I'm like, and I woke up to all the text messages saying like, "Hey, you did it, good job." Um, and I had, it's salad topper. It's like sliced almonds with cranberries and honey. I was like in my head, like, what could I eat and shovel in my face hole right now that requires no effort or prep? And that was the only thing, because I just bought a bunch of food, but I didn't really make a whole lot of stuff, and the chicken was in the fridge, like chilling. So I just sat in bed and just ate like half a bag of that, and the cat was, bugging me, and I was like, "Get out of here! It's my food." Then I went back to sleep and had to wake up at 6. And then this morning I grabbed for breakfast. It's like 5 eggs, bacon, hash browns, toast, and just munched on that. I couldn't help myself. I was just, I don't know if voracious is the word, but I just consumed, and I just like, oh, finally, it felt good to just eat more than a tiny little amount. But I felt sluggish as shit after that. I felt crappy. I felt like really like, ugh, like not like stomach pains so much, but like almost verge of headache, because my body wasn't used to processing that much food. So yeah, I feel like he did give me peace, and yeah, like it was almost like if somebody said like rest or relax, like you've done this big thing, like I'm telling you to rest. Um, so it wasn't the face to face that I had hoped for. It wasn't the hearing him. It wasn't the seeing him. I think it definitely was a feeling, of him touching me in a certain way and telling me to rest and then making my body just go like limp. And so yeah, that's the experience that I got. And now things are returning to normal. And I saw myself in the mirror when I woke up and I was like, holy shit. I don't like that at all. Normally when I turn sideways, there's like a little bit of a pooch. And I was like, my pooch is gone, but I look like a little boy. I don't like this. So yeah, that was my experience. I'm sure there will be a couple things that I'll remember and I can tell you later on, but for the most part.
Now you should be able to travel to and from Feldcroft in an instant.
What do you want, Slytherin? You nice Slytherin. I look like I'm about to go gardening for the Jabberwockies. I really don't like this outfit. I kind of want to find something else.
Enjoying the view.
Keeping an eye on things. Feldcroft isn't what it used to be. No one has felt safe here since Ranrock's loyalists took a peculiar interest in that castle over there. Rookwood Castle. My uncle Solomon is a former Auror and refuses to look into it, even after Anne was cursed by one of them. Possibly with a wand, no less.
I heard a goblin refer to wizard kind as wand carriers. Are goblins forbidden from carrying wands?
Precisely. That's why I'm on the hunt for answers. If I'm to cure her, I need to understand what happened to her. Anne was always the most mischievous of the three of us. Which is saying something, knowing me and Ominous. I'm hoping a surprise visit from me and a new friend from Hogwarts will help lift her spirits. Bring back the Anne I used to know. Come on, I'll take you to my uncle's. This way. Feldcroft used to be a lot livelier. With Ranrock's lot wandering about all the time, everyone stays out of sight. Here we are. My sister should be just inside.
But, okay.
Aha! Sebastian, where did you...
You don't like the way that smells, do you? Huh?
Is that what I think it is?
We've been over this, boy.
Hey.
Shrivelfigs cannot reverse a curse. Nothing can. The sooner you accept that reality, the better.
But we haven't tried everything.
There is no cure! When will you accept that?
Never. I can never accept it.
Now look what you've done.
Oh yeah, he did that. Okay. She's just having cramps, bro. It's that time of the month. She's on the rag.
I'm sorry you had to see that.
Get her some chocolate.
If you don't mind, I just need a moment alone.
Poor Sebastian. Not the visit he'd hoped for.
I came all this way to watch your sister have cramps and then you walk away all pissy. I ran a while, dude. Like, I probably should have picked up a broom, but I just haven't done that side quest yet. Hey,
That boy
asshole.
will fray my last nerve.
Excuse me, Mr. Sallow.
Oh, yes, Sebastian's friend. I apologize on behalf of my nephew. He doesn't know when to stop. He thinks he can help Anne, but nothing can be done for her.
It could be that you've not yet discovered the cure.
Ah, you sound like Sebastian, thinking you know better than the healers at St. Mungo's.
Perhaps the healers don't know everything, sir. Sebastian is single-mindedly focused on finding a way to help his sister. If there is a cure, he will find it.
Your faith in Sebastian is misplaced.
Damn.
Some sort of dark magic cursed Anne, and the goblins aren't likely to explain themselves anytime soon. Giving her hope is cruel. The only thing to do now is keep Anne comfortable and stay out of the Loyalists' way.
With all due respect, sir, hope could keep Anne's spirits up.
You may mean well, but I know what's best for Anne and Sebastian. They are my stubborn brother's children. Especially Sebastian. If you really want to be of help, you'll make sure Sebastian does what he should do, not what he wants to do. He's no idea the harm he could do if he doesn't stop.
Sure.
I hope you'll remember what I've said. Good day.
I'm sorry about earlier.
Need a
Those
tampon?
bouts of pain are difficult to bear.
Are you all right, Anne? I didn't mean to intrude.
Some
You
Excedrin?
didn't, truly. And I'm all right. The pain from this curse comes in bouts, and often suddenly. It's not anyone's fault. It's nice to meet you, by the way. You must be the new 5th year Sebastian told me about.
I am. Sebastian and I met during a rather lively duel in Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Oh, dear Professor Hecat. She's a powerful witch. And she knows how to keep students like my brother, and me, in line.
I do miss Hogwarts, but I wouldn't mind being in Feldcroft, really, if it wasn't so dreary now. Between the goblins at the castle and my uncle fighting with Sebastian whenever he's home, it's not the cozy retreat it once was.
Sebastian mentioned something about your uncle being an ex-Auror, but refusing to go after Ranrock's loyalists. I must say, I wasn't prepared for him to be as angry as he was.
Uncle Solomon is frustrated by what happened to me, and by Sebastian for thinking he can fix it. They both mean well, I know they do, but my uncle is right. This curse cannot be undone. I can feel it. Sebastian cannot take away my pain. Perhaps you can help him to understand that.
I'm afraid it's really up to Sebastian, and his mind seems to be made up.
I can only hope he realizes the futility of his search for a cure soon. I'm getting tired. I should probably rest. Thank you for stopping by. I wish you well.
I ought to see how Sebastian's faring.
We will kill you, whore. Hogwarts isn't the same without you. Well, sharp is still foul, but you know what I mean. I hope you're feeling better, Sebastian. This is my potion kit, not yours. Leave my things be, and any other things I can pilfer?
Why will he not listen to me? She's my sister.
How are you doing, Sebastian?
You got a first-hand glance at what I'm dealing with. I apologize for my uncle.
I'll admit, I wasn't expecting him to be so angry.
He's always angry. He's been angry since my parents died. After Anne was hurt, he only grew worse. It's as though he blames me somehow, always calling me my father's son, as if that's an insult. I'm the one trying to help her. He's simply given up.
Both Anne and your uncle seem genuinely convinced that nothing more can be done for her.
I refuse to believe that. Anne's pain is more than physical. It has changed her entirely. I miss my sister. And I'm going to get her back. Come with me. I need to show you where it happened. Ranrock's loyalists are capable of so much more than people realize. They should not be underestimated. All the debris you'll see is from whatever's going on at that abandoned estate. They've been digging for something. Up there, on that plateau, is where they cursed Anne. This way.
Okay, why you get? Well, we ran over there. Like, why you gotta be walking all slow now?
How much longer are we expected to dig through this rubble? Ranrock knows what he's doing. It's an honor to be a part of it.
Spin the wheel, raggedy man.
I work until you're dead.
Ah!
Accio!
Seems you're artist.
Oh, shit.
Incendio. Expelliarmus. Accio. Incendio.
Who wants some? Oh, shit.
Expelliarmus.
Ah!
Incendio.
This is where... No! I will make you
Ah!
Levioso. Incendio. Accio. Expelliarmus.
Let's get this over. Rather unwise.
Accio. Incendio.
Ah! Want another one? Boom!
Accio. Levioso. Expelliarmus.
Bam!
You've made your last mistake. You will suffer.
You want some, bro? Oh!
Accio. Incendio.
Bro, don't make me disappear you.
One less human to worry about.
I will Thanos your ass real quick.
But I'm better.
You don't want the smoke.
You're weak.
Levioso.
Ah!
Too slow.
Ah!
Such arrogance.
Levioso. Incendio. Expelliarmus.
Best the likes of me.
Accio.
Ah!
Levioso.
Oh, shit.
Levioso.
Ah!
Levioso.
Shit.
Incendio.
I can't see it. Stupid trees in my way. Ah!
Expelliarmus.
Mm-hmm.
Levioso. Incendio.
It's me.
Expelliarmus.
Get away.
Accio. Incendio.
Ah. Oh, now it's just you. You ain't shit without all your homies, are you? Boom!
I confess, that was a bit more than I'd bargained for. I tried to warn you.
Who's the bitch now? Oh,
Those
don't be a little
loyalists
poon.
deserved what they got.
Couldn't agree more. This is where it happened. We smelled smoke in the middle of the night. When we looked outside, flames were shooting from the estate. Before my uncle and I could stop her, Anne rushed out, racing towards the fire, worried someone had been hurt. She came face to face with
Oh,
a
it was
horde of
water,
goblins,
yes.
frantically trying to stamp out the flames. Suddenly, an icy voice drifted out from somewhere in the smoke. Children should be seen and not heard. A blinding blast followed. They didn't even give her a chance to run.
It seems an awfully violent response to a child wandering by. What were they trying to hide?
My thoughts exactly. It may be grasping at Billywigs, but I keep thinking that there might be something here that could lead me to whoever cursed Anne. Might be the only way to learn what type of magic harmed her, which could help me find a cure.
Perhaps you're right. The Loyalists are everywhere, but they do seem to be spending a lot of time here, and it's likely they're hiding something.
And at Rookwood Castle. Shall we have a look around? They seem to have set up camp here for a specific reason. They have stations for everything.
Revelio.
I've heard goblin dig sites like these are popping up everywhere.
It's a wonder the Ministry isn't doing more. Always armed and ready for a fight, Ranrock's loyalists.
Oh, something else over here.
Revelio. Whose home was this?
Been abandoned long since I've lived here. Rumor was a Hogwarts professor lived here once, centuries ago. But that's all I ever heard. It might be worth taking a closer look at the house itself.
Revelio. This well looks familiar. Sebastian, I've seen this before. This house, the well, the view.
What do you mean? When?
Give me a moment. I'll explain in a second. Revelio.
Are you gonna tell him your deepest, darkest secret? Yeah. Can I get in here? That man? So, has to be...
Revelio. Sebastian, over here. Do you think that this was damaged by the fire the night that Anne was cursed?
Could be. But it looks to me as though this was intentional.
Sebastian, this house did belong to a Hogwarts professor, hundreds of years ago.
Who? What do you...
I found a pensive that day in the restricted section with a memory that showed this house. There was a little girl and a drought. The keepers have shown me other memories as well. The girl became a Hogwarts professor. Her name was Isadora Morganach. She was one of the keepers.
The keepers? Like in Quidditch? And you found a pensive in the library? I'm not following you.
I realize it's a lot to take in. I'm not even sure I understand it all yet. And no, not like Quidditch. They call themselves keepers because they're protecting some type of knowledge. It has to do with the vault at Gringotts.
Let me see if I've got this straight. You have Ranrock and Rookwood after you because of something you found at Gringotts where you ended up via a port key. And now you've been witnessing memories left by keepers. Oh, and this house belonged to a Hogwarts professor who was one of these non-Quidditch keepers hundreds of years ago. If I didn't know you, I'd think you were pulling my leg.
It is all a bit much, isn't it, when you put it like that? The point is, we both have good reason to search this house. You for answers about what happened to Anne, and me for answers about the keepers.
Look at this.
Someone piled this here for a reason. Is it blocking something?
Only one way to find out. Huh, a stairwell.
Contusion-y.
Why bother blocking a stairwell?
There might be something here worth a closer look.
Oh, what just hit me?
They've left all of this simply strewn about.
I'm being hurt by something.
Bigger.
I'm being hurt by this air. It's like poisoning me or something. Second week in camp, more arrive each day. Muggle doctors and even some of our own healers are doing all they can for them. The grief is palpable. The ones who have survived the plague are far more damaged by their loss, or forever damaged by their loss. A fever may pass, the skin may mend and scar, but the devastating sorrow remains. I saw a man like my father who had lost a child. I couldn't bear it. I longed to give him some shred of relief. I'm beginning to think that the others are wrong. I have power to help these souls. It seems as arbitrary not to help them as it would to rid them of their torment.
A journal entry of S0r's. I should hold on to this.
I traveled here to learn, but I long to help. My internal struggle is overwhelming. It's as though the magic wants to heal, and I am the one preventing it from doing so. Should I lose hope? Will I forever regret regret not having done more? I cannot look into their eyes knowing that I could have lessened the burden of heartache. I saw the man leaving camp today, the one who so reminded me of my father. Surely it wouldn't hurt to help him. I could further my research, of course, but that would be a fortuitous consequence of doing something good with this ability.
Seems these journal entries are from S0r's travels.
Do we have to stay here?
Revelio.
Nothing else is... Oh. What is this?
You're not going to believe this. I can see the Undercroft.
What? A daydream? Because that happens to me too.
I know it sounds strange, but...
Honestly, nothing you say sounds strange to me anymore.
Fair enough. I can see the Undercroft through this stone wall, as though it's a window. This has happened before.
I'm listening.
I have a rare ability to see whispers of ancient magic.
I don't know what I was expecting you to say, but it wasn't that. I knew you weren't telling me everything. Ancient magic. What does that even mean?
I'm not entirely sure, but the Keepers have said that it's a powerful magic that should only be wielded by a select few.
And you can wield it?
I don't know, but Fig and I think that Ranrock has somehow found a way to harness that magic's power.
Are you telling me that goblins may be wielding some sort of wizard magic?
That's what we're trying to find out. What I do know is that my ability allows me to travel through these windows I see.
Wait. We can get straight to the Undercroft from here. Ominous will be flawed.
We can. But perhaps best not to tell anyone else about this for now. Even Ominous.
Understood.
Sure.
Well then, invisible, secret, ancient magic passageway? Here we come. I'm tempted to hold my breath.
Enter the weird mirror.
Why would the door lead us here?
Sebastian, look. Why hide a triptych here?
Seems as if something's missing.
A note?
The whole thing?
Let's have a look.
I don't know what it wants me to do. I can move the cursor, but it's not vibrating or anything. I don't know what this means.
Anything helpful in the note?
No.
A rune symbol. I've seen similar symbols used by the Keepers.
I've been thinking. A keeper lived in that house centuries ago, and Ranrock and his lot have been searching there. You said that goblins may be wielding some form of this ancient magic. Do you think Anne was cursed by ancient magic?
I can't be sure, of course, but I don't think so. I didn't see any traces of it around your sister.
Very well. But that doesn't mean it's not ancient magic. There's still so much we don't know about it.
True. Perhaps this triptych will lead us to answers.
Then we'll have to unravel what this all means. But now I need to see Ominous. Don't worry, I won't tell him anything. Did I mention that apparently
it's possible.
Salazar Slytherin had a secret scriptorium here in Hogwarts?
You did not? Sounds worth looking into. Any idea where in the castle?
No idea. Ominous just learned of it. I'll let you know what I find out. I had no idea our visit to Cian would unfold into all of this.
Cheers.
My head's an utter mess. But I'm glad you told me everything you did. I'll be in touch.
Ooh.
Till then.
Oh, good stuff.
Meet me near the ruins of Falbaton Castle. After dark. Do not tell anyone.
Whoa, secret whore. Calm your tits. The secret love. Ooh, refined dueling gloves. Yes.
Revelio.
Need I remind you that you are studying at Hogwarts and not the Three Broomsticks? You'll never become an aura at this rate. So get your head out of your butterbeer and into a blasted wizarding book, for Merlin's sake.
Who is yelling, bro? Who's being a supreme douche nozzle right now? Bitch, get out of my face. Oh, alright, let's stop this here right now, and I wanted to try out this other game that I downloaded yesterday. It's kind of like Overwatch, but it's Marvel superheroes. So each superhero has like a specific role, like a tank, damage dealer, support, assassin type deal. And I kind of wanted to try it out. And I don't have much more time to play because I'm gonna take a shower and but I'll let you know when I go live again. I'm gonna exit out of this. I forgot how to do this. Okay, settings, save game. This seems like a good place to stop. Okay, exit this.